I remember days they used to laugh at me. Used to show them on my records talking casually. Used to say it was a passion on my path to be. Then they told me that I couldn't, so I had to be. Tell me what they really think about it now. Used to hate it, but I guarantee they're proud. Had to do it just to show them that I could, yeah. Now I finally think I took it where I should, yeah. Had a jokes on you and now you're on and laughing. I did a whole lot of winning. Look, it came from a passion. I see a whole lot of knowings. I could see now in public and that may think a lot of things. Man, at least think something, now you the judge. Hey, now tell me where you ended up, yeah. Look, I bet it was a simple job, yeah. Look, I went and took a different route, yeah. Look, that's why my life is different now. Back in my feelings, look, when I wasn't so gifted and I was learning to do this, and all I heard were the critics, and now I'm playing for that shit. Look, I was way out the basis, but I just needed some talent so I could wait this to greatness, oh yeah. You ain't ever think this, no, no, no. Stop me while I started, homie, whoa, whoa. Now this shit settled, it's go better and better, but I'll always remember, yeah, yeah.
Yo, welcome back to That One podcast. It's your boy. I'm in That One studio at the house here in the man cave down underneath my house. I have I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I was when I podcasted back in the day, I started in my dining room. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just wanted to get going. I wanted to start. I was in my dining room, and I'm sitting there with the dining room Zoom on and all this. And my wife was just getting annoyed. My kids were getting annoyed because it was right off the kitchen, and I'd always tell them to be quiet. And then eventually my wife just got fed up and took her real estate commissions, because she's a real estate agent, and spent like $65,000 to build this amazing man cave down by the pool in the water. I can't really show you guys it because I'll mess my camera up, but there's like this floor that's got epoxy marble floor, and the ceiling's got, it looks like an Irish pub ceiling. It's just sick. I got a sick view. I'm spoiled, guys. So anyway, I'm into the home studio here. We'll be back on the road next week in Tampa with Ken's and your boy C-Roc. And today we have my guy, Ken Cox, in the building. Ken is just an amazing dude. I had a kickoff call with him at some point, like an introduction call. And as soon as I saw the beard, I fell in love with him, man. Like, I know, because, dude, bearded dudes are cool, man. You know? Yeah. And I'm a little jealous because I haven't been able to grow mine as long as Ken. But, yeah, no, Ken's a good dude and into a lot of amazing things. And we're going to get into it today and find out why he's that one. So, Ken, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me, Mike. I appreciate it. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, and I didn't see you last time with a hat that had logo on it, and then this time I see you with a hat with the logo on it. So I love that you took action on that, man. And the other thing is that's a New Era hat, and I didn't do that with my hats, and I love New Era hats. So I got to get up to speed. You're inspiring me, man.
Well, I've got a thick nugget, so I have to get the fitted. Like I got to spend the money on a hat if I'm gonna wear it. So
yeah, well, you got a big brain in there because you've had some success, man. So let's get into it, dude. Look, that one is important in business. Being that one, separating yourself, leaning into the insecurities and weirdness, and what makes you different. And I want to kind of go through your life and areas of you've identified those times where you just leaned in and didn't run from those things, and how it paid off for you. So we can start wherever you'd like with that, but I like to know a story comes to mind.
Yeah, so I'll kind of give a deep, big run there really quick. Rough and tumble, growing up, started drinking super young, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. Had no ambitions, right? Like ninth grade, I'm like, man, I'm going to pump gas and just live in a trailer, right? That was my dream.
But wait a minute. I want to stop you there. As we go through this story, I'm going to stop you because I'll point some things out. You had some kind of ambition. The ambition was probably parties, girls, or a feeling or something. Yeah. Something's always, I want to point this out because people don't realize this. You always are on purpose. It's just, is it your purpose or someone else's purpose? Is it a destructive purpose or is it a constructive purpose? We're all on purpose.
Yes.
It's not we gotta be intentional with a constructive purpose. You had ambition, something, right?
Yeah, they were not good ambitions though, right? They were flawed. But during this time growing up, I had these weird little small business owners in my neighborhood, right? And I grew up in a neighborhood, within walking distance, I could rub the window and peek in and see the tinsel dancers on the stage and the poles, right? That's the kind of neighborhood that I grew up in, to give you an idea. So it's bikers and dump trucks and, big men drinking beer and smoking joints is what
Was this in St. Louis too, or no?
This was a little town called Arnold, Missouri, in a time of white flight. So this is South City, St. Louis Hoosiers moving to the country in this little community, right? That policed its own and all kinds of weird stuff. It was not a healthy environment by far.
So a lot of bikers, like a lot of bikers, gangs, and all that.
I wouldn't call them gang. I call them clubs.
Yeah,
Like,
biker
they're
gangs,
just
biker gang, biker clubs. Yeah.
yeah. It's just good old boys trying to watch out for themselves in the best way they know how. Confused and scared, but putting on some big fronts to make sure that they seem not scared. Right? It's really what it was. But so those business owners, like the slot car track owner that taught me how to solder, the Emo's Pizza guy that taught me how to run a business at all, and let me put vending machines in his business at 14. Right, the pool hall guy that let me clean tables for pool hall time so that I could hustle old guys at foosball and make a little bit of cash. Right, these are the guys that were mentoring me not knowing it, right, but setting me up to do these things. And I was I didn't graduate high school till I was 19. I'm very dyslexic. I have a lot of learning disabilities, and I have a couple other disorders about mind and body disconnect and shit, right? So they didn't really know what to do with me, so they put me in the special school district all through elementary school and all that shit, right? So I'll tell the story. I was 18 or 19 years old. I had fell in love with video, film production, audio production, all that stuff. I'm doing pictures to video kind of stuff, right? You remember back in the day, you take hundreds of pictures and you put them behind some cheesy music to make grandmas cry. I was doing that shit in my basement, right? Went to my stepdad and like, hey, Ron, I need this camera. He's like, well, it's $5,000, Ken. You can't have a camera. You can't have. I'm like, I can get the cash. Like, I can get the money to do it, but I need a credit card to buy it. And I got to buy it from New York. Now, this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
The internet can't buy shit on the internet yet, really, right? So we're buying it out of the back of magazines, and he was so nervous to buy it out of the back of a magazine out of New York so we didn't have to pay sales tax because it was a really nice camera. Hounded him for weeks, and he finally gave me his credit card to let me buy this camera. Started doing video production. Loved it, man. I was booking gigs. I picked up the phone book on day one because I didn't want to shoot weddings and pictures of video. I wanted to make like commercials and shit, right?
Yeah.
And I start flipping through the page, and I start at A in the yellow page, and I just call. And I got to Pacific Productions before I got my first damn deal. Called every number, right? AAA, hey, I'm this dumb 19-year-old kid that I can get you on Channel 11. I can get you on all these things, blah, 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 all this stuff. Finally, I get this deal with Pacific Productions, and I'm we're on a Jolt Cola commercial. If you remember Jolt Cola back in the day, right? So that was my first video production gig that I got. And
who knows how much sugar and caffeine were in that stuff?
Junk, horrible stuff. But so that was my very first kind of big corporate job where I just made it happen, right? And I remember my stepdad be so mad at me because he's like, you need to get a factory job and get your pension and do that. And I'm like, dude, I will shoot myself in the head if you put me on an assembly line and make me do the same thing for 8 hours a day. No way. Cannot do it.
Isn't that amazing how we all have that in our life where people are telling us what we should do?
Yeah.
And they mean well, but they like it's such a freaking like dream stealer.
Yeah, so it wasn't good. And so that went really well. And I ran that company. I got it pretty big for a 19-year-old kid, right? I'm pulling in the 90s. I'm pulling in like 60, 70K a year on this little camera, hustling side jobs, doing weddings, still doing pictures to video. I'm a hell of an editor, right? People are sending me stuff. And then I get a girlfriend. The whole thing goes to shit. I end up selling the company. It's the first company I sold, but I learned how to do that at 19. Sell a company, secure my position with the new company, give them the clients, and then go to work for them. That's the first time I learned how to do that. And there was a local company called Diverse Entertainment, and I sold the MVP Multimedia Group, was Mr. Video out of Ohio or some shit, like Omaha, Nebraska. They were out of.
What happened here? Like the girl comes into life. Like what caused her to? Are you blaming the girlfriend?
No, I'm not blaming the girlfriend at all, but I am blaming the fact that I had better things to do than sit at my desk and call through the yellow pages.
Yeah. More fun things to do.
And I had to figure all that out, right? And that took me, about a decade. to figure out how to deal with business and women, right? And then I found my wife, and
so that girlfriend there at the time, is that your wife now?
no, it is not.
How did you meet that girl? Was it on a job that you were doing with
I was the manager at that pizza joint that I had I had vending machines at.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, and she worked there, and that's how we met. And then, things just kind of kept going. But then I left the pizza joint, started doing video all the time. Right. And, we stayed together for a little while after that.
Gotcha. Okay. I get how that works. Yeah. I mean, man, I had this job at the beach one time and, in Ocean City, and I had to work bar backing, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and I thought I'll kick my coverage, honestly. I'm just being honest. I was like, I couldn't believe this chick was like into me. And I was like, man, I'm like, I don't want any other dudes. I was like, when you have that like mindset, you don't want other dudes like coming in when you're working and stuff like that.
Right.
You just don't know what's going on. I was immature, So I was at work, and I would always tell, hey, come visit me at work. Come visit me at work. But then I would leave. If she was out like down the street at this other beach bar, I would leave on my breaks, run down the beach and go hang out, have a couple shots, and then run back. And it's just like, I look back at that and like how insecure I was.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. But women will drive you like to different places when you're young.
My wife now, I was a bartender at a bar called America's Pub, and she was a bartender at a bar called Ozzy's in the same mall, and she was at one end and I was at the other, and that's how we met.
Yeah. And then on your breaks, would you pop over?
Oh, yeah, it was disgusting. It was horrible. We took so much advantage of those bars and management. But it was fun, and we were young, and we were learning stuff. It was a good time.
Yeah. So then you sold this company, and then you had to work for them. So how did that change anything really for you with the situation?
Not a lot. It was just, kind of a fun time of my life. It did not go well working for them at all, right? Yeah. So I learned how to do some other kinds of jobs, really maximize value for a job, right? So what they taught me how to do was go to live events, and instead of charging to be at the event, go to the event for free, make an amazing video, and then sell copies to a whole bunch of people, right? So instead of getting a per hour rate, create a product, right? That's what they really taught me how to do. But they, this is the 90s. We didn't know about ASCAP, and the laws were not as easy to look up and stuff. So they got in some trouble for copyright infringement and stuff like that and I started learning a lot about law and like how to do business legally and things like that. Cause I've seen a couple people get in trouble, right? Yeah. And I've seen property get seized now, all of those things. So it got a little scary. But I love the entertainment industry, and I stayed in the entertainment industry until I was 24 years old when I went into IT. Yeah. Total accident that I went into IT. 100%.
So any cool stories from the entertainment stuff? Like, what kind of entertainment were you in besides like?
Yeah, so I made a couple short films, right? We won like third place in the Kansas Film Festival for best comedic short, but we meant to make a drama, like that kind of stuff. I've worked with a lot of bands as a stage manager. The tour that I did, the most significant tour that I did was Cottonmouth Kings, the Funk Junkies, Insane Clown Posse, and then War finished up that tour at the end. They came in for Halloween that summer. That was what I was doing. When I left that is when I went into IT.
Okay, so you go into IT. Obviously, there's opportunity there because that time is technology started.
December of '99.
Yeah. But was it? See, I think of IT for some reason, and this is just my personality, right? IT is boring. Like, it depends on what part of the IT, because sometimes you're just hooking up computers and a network for the office. To me, it's just like, how do you do that every day? And now, no offense to anybody that likes it, but
this is a different kind of IT that I got into. So right out of the gate, I started this company part-time or just temporary until I get another travel gig, right? I don't want to be in a house. I don't want to live in an apartment. I want to live on a bus and be free. That's what I want. That's what I thought I wanted. So I get this job, and then I get into web hosting in '99. So yes, IT can be really boring.
For those that don't know, web hosting, can you explain that?
It's www.mycornergrocerystore.com or the Chinese restaurant or the pipe shop or the boxing gym or everybody's got their .com.
Yeah, so like GoDaddy, like one of those places, like you got into that. And
what do you GoDaddy, Wix, Inlink.
When you got into it, what do you mean you got into it? You help people secure their domain and then build their website?
Yeah. Okay. And every company in the world needed a website.
Yeah.
So I was super fortunate. Like I graduated high school at 1.7, right? At 19 years old. I go to Broadcast Center right after high school, graduate from there. But my mom worked at Washington University. She was always on my ass to go there. She's like, tuition's free. You should go. You should go. You should go. So I did. I
You
hated
talking
it.
about Washington out west?
Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis. Okay, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's the second. It's like the top 5 medical schools in the country.
Okay.
But I'm not a medical student. I'm
Obviously,
a journalist
I'm
in
not
film
a
and video,
medical
right?
either.
Like, doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But she was harping on me, so I went there for a year, and I was working there, making film and video for the students, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I didn't like that very much. I didn't like school, so I ended up leaving there and went on the tour. So, but during that time, I learned a lot about computers. Right. I learned FTP, all these things. I learned websites. I learned HTML. I took the HTML class. I was intrigued about, if I can make movies and put them on TVs, what's this internet thing? How do I learn that? How do I put, and really all I was trying to figure out was how do I put stuff on that internet so other people can see it, right? Because now I can make video and then I can distribute it anywhere in the world.
So why didn't you create YouTube then?
I mean, I created some other stuff. If you
messing
look
with you.
up
I'm messing
Ken
with
Cox WIPO, you'll see some pretty interesting
I'm just busting
world
chops,
IP,
man. No.
intellectual property cases that I was in back in the day.
Yeah.
But my very first deal with web hosting was mastercard.com.
No shit.
My second deal was Twinkies.com. I had got to do all the legal case. I got to be involved in the legal case with Twinkies.org, which was an adult site, not a tasty
Really? I
treat.
never heard of that.
Yeah. So, I was instantly in all this thing, and then every single business in the world needs a website. Every single one. So, I mean, that's just what I got into. I loved it. 2004, 2005, we sold a huge deal to AOL. We wrote the back office for Netscape. Total fluke. We answered the RFP, right? The RFP gets passed around our office by everybody. Me and my partner,
What
Steve.
is that? Excuse my ignorance.
What's
the RFP?
Request for proposal.
Oh, okay. I've heard of
It's a
request
giant
for
stack
proposal.
of RFP, right? Of request
Yeah,
for proposal.
I've heard of I've heard of request for proposal. I've never heard of. I don't know, man. I'm out there. I must be. I feel like I'm so smart sometimes, and then sometimes I feel like I'm so stupid.
There's lots of acronyms on this planet.
Yeah.
So we answer it and send it off, and then we get the damn deal at 10 cents a user for AOL's back office.
Get the heck out of here.
So we blow up really quick, right on the tails of that. That's rolling.
What's going through your mind when you get something like that, and then you're like doing obviously you get your calculator out, you're like 10 cents times.
Oh, I'm a golden boy. I can't be touched.
Yeah,
right in my
yeah.
mind, I'm the shit, man. Nobody can touch. No,
The
I
ego
can't
get
get
into
fired
the
by
way?
anybody. There's nobody in the world that can fire me. I'm crushing it. Everything I'm doing turns to gold.
Were you
right?
partying back then?
27, 28, somewhere
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Partying my balls off every single night.
Yeah.
I'd already had the ups and downs of, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor kind of stuff, living through that .com era. Getting stock options from being bought and sold through all of that stuff in 99 to 2001. 2001, I was done with it. And me and Steve and a couple other guys, that's when we started our current company. So we pitched Peabody Energy and we land that deal. So now we're hosting the largest coal company in the world. We've got the back office for Netscape.com. We're doing, we've got Clear.com, which was at the time a giant WiMAX company, just destroying life until 2016 comes up.
Now, before that, who was with you at that time? Hold on 1 second. I want to pull somebody in here for a second, Ken, if you don't mind. Hey, Kens.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, we're actually, I'm recording, and your voice, I just want to let you know ahead of time. You're on That1 podcast, the virtual, and I have the virtual.
Nice.
So can you say hi to Ken Cox for me?
Ken Cox, what's shaking?
How you doing?
What are the timing of this, Ken? My co-host is usually only in the studio with us, and she happens to call right when we're doing a virtual.
It's all good.
Ken, this timing couldn't have been better. I just wanted to say hi. I saw you're calling, and Ken and I are learning about his journey and everything, and what makes him That1, and he's a client at That1 too. But yeah, you're live here, and
I love it.
Ken's just coming back from the Bahamas from a birthday trip. Ken.
Yeah.
That's right, Ken. So I
Nice.
heard about Ken was going to be on the show. I was like, you know what? I'm out of the country, but I have to call in because he's a big deal and he's the man. So coming to you live from the Bahamas. What's going on?
Not a lot. We're just having a good conversation.
He said, "Don, not just having a good conversation. I know you can't hear him because I have the headsets on, but yeah, Ken's amazing. I'll connect you guys later, but I'll give you a call when we're done this episode, and yeah, we'll get you in some of these virtuals too, Ken's. Once I get this, okay.
All right, keep killing it. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye, Ken. Have a great show, guys.
All right, see you. Yeah, I didn't want to answer that. If I was usually calls come in, I won't answer them, but for her as the co-host, you had to say hi to you.
That's about,
you were able to hear her at least, so.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Okay. So who was with you at that time before 2016 when you were doing this company? You had the back office of Netscape, was it right?
Yeah.
And who was and AOL and all that? Like, how many people did you have with you?
Oh, about 700. No, about at that time it was about 150.
Like employees and everything, team members and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys were scaling. Okay.
So in '99 to 2000, we were at about 700. In 2001, when we started Hosterian, we went from 700 to 4.
Yeah.
And then start like reboot, like hardcore reboot. You know, this is the 20-hour days, kind of grind. Grew that up to 30 pretty quick, right? After that .com bubble in 2001. Down to 700 to 4. Grew that to 30 pretty quickly. And then got that back up to about 170, I think, at the peak of the software development. We had everything running. We had the data center. We had 3 data centers at the time.
What kind of revenue were like? What was the peak revenue into the company at the time when you were like at the top?
I mean, we sold peak company. We were 15, 26.
26 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well into the 8 figures, and because then nowadays that would be really pressing 9 figures probably if you think about it. This is like money dollar for dollar. You know.
So I'll tell you.
I want to point that out to people because people don't understand. Like, first of all, the time difference in money, right? But then how you were able to scale that big, and then the roller coaster ride you went on, like 700 to 4, like that's emotionally that can get to you, man.
Well, that was just chest pounding. Right, like at the time, this is so sick. The mentality of some young men, and I was one of those young men.
Yeah,
like the pompous attitude bullshit that I had standing on this side when we're firing 680 fucking people.
Yeah.
Like that. That's I don't know that I have it in me today to go through that again. At that time, I was like, yeah, bitches.
Yeah.
I'm staying and you're going. I understand, and we're gonna crush this. But it was a ton of fun, and I had a blast. And you know, at the time, it was my partner, my co-founder, Steve. He's passed away. You know, we had Rick with us, and he's not with us anymore. And then that original 4 is gone. Yeah. Right. The financial partner there is still with me. Brian, he's been a phenomenal resource, right? Having a strong financial partner in any kind of endeavor like this is big. But he was our largest customer at the time, right? So we partnered with our largest customer. Our largest customer was CDM Fantasy Sports. If you remember, if you did fantasy sports, you did fantasy sports in the 90s, early 2000s, you were doing fantasy sports with CDM, right?
My first episode with our first interaction with fantasy was the USA Today had I think it was USA Today. Yeah. And they had a thing, and you could like pick your players on there. I forget how I did it. I don't even remember if I called it in or if I mailed it in.
And that was all CDM on the back end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know how I did it. I can't remember now. But I was pretty good at it early on. I was like, damn, Randy Moss was like playing back then, and
I was never a sports guy, but I could do the tech, right? And I could do that stuff, and I could keep the infrastructure up. So
that was him. That was their finance guy. That was in that company?
My financial partner, my CEO is Brian Matthews, and he was the founder of CDM Fantasy Sports. And during this whole time, like, he's the one that brought Major League Baseball to the Supreme Court and made all sports statistics public domain, right? It was a big deal because the MLB said, oh, you can't do fantasy sports anymore. You got to license these statistics. But once somebody hits a home run, that's history, and that's now part of public domain. That the statistics aren't owned by anybody.
Right.
So
Okay. So then 2016, you mentioned
16 hits. Steve has throat cancer. He's dying. He's leaving the company. He's the president at the time. I'm the vice president. I get diagnosed with liver disease, alcohol related. Ken, you're going to die in 2 years if you don't quit drinking.
Damn.
In that 1 year period, Peabody Energy files bankruptcy. Arch Coal files bankruptcy. Sprint buys Clearwire. Right? All of my big money customers are going away, and they're going away quick. Brian said, I'm going to be doing a lot of business in this world still, and we're not filing bankruptcy. Like, Brian, we got leases on buildings and fiber and copper under the ground all over the freaking world, man. Like, all over the world, we have DSL lines going back to a coal mine so that they can measure the weight of the coal that's being mined that day and get it back to the stock market, right? This is the kind of world that we're living in, and it's fun, and we love it. Our feet are on the desk, and we're not trying to sell anything because we were done. Like, we're coasting until retirement is what we're thinking. But Steve passed away. I got liver disease. Everything in the world seemed to fall apart. And Brian's like, Ken, either we'll fund the shutdown. We'll find partners to get all the customers to move happily to. We'll shut down and sell the building, or you can figure it out. And I'm like, well, shit, let's figure this out. Let's go, right? And I was 2017. I was upside down by $4 million a year. Right? Like it's a scary thing to wake up to every morning.
How the hell did you dig out of that?
Day by day, man. And I couldn't. Well, I had a lot of relapses, right? Because I'm an alcoholic. Or was an alcoholic. A lot of relapses, lots of problems. My wife has been a rock for me the entire time. God bless her soul. She's still with me, at least for now. We hope we stay that way to the eternity.
Did you have to go to rehab or go to AA or anything like that?
I used a program called Smart Recovery. My first run in AA, I was 13.
13 years old?
Yeah, I was
13.
My first I got arrested for borrowing a car and having too much flowers with me. I got arrested at 13, and they sent me through AA. They sent me through this thing called Tough Love back in the 80s and 90s, where your parents could lock you out of the house if you were late, which I loved. Kind of world. So I'm not a huge fan of AA. It works for a lot of people, but I am a huge proponent of self-identification. And I'll be damned if you stand up every day and tell yourself you're an alcoholic. Guess what you'll be? You'll be a fucking alcoholic for the rest of your life.
I agree. I was just talking about this the other day. Like, labels you put on yourself, you'll live out. So, Ken, I got to share this with you real quick. So I grew up with a lot of brokenness around me. Alcohol, drug addicts, depression, anxiety, suicide, all this stuff. My grandmother, who ended up committing suicide on antidepressant and anti-anxiety pills, I noticed when I was about 8 years old, she used to tell herself this story all the time. And she would tell me and everybody around her, like, that would listen, why she was like this. Parents were alcoholics. And it was so clear to me. I was like, you're labeling yourself this, and then you're going out living this. Why don't you just change that thing? Yeah. So I agree with that, and I don't want to disparage anybody that has AA, it's worked for them, whatever. But like the one thing, like you said, you're the first person I heard say this.
It's big. I mean, this is why my book's in every prison in UK right now, right? That's why they're putting it there, because it's self-identification. And so one of the things that I did immediately after my liver disease failure is I found a boxing gym. I ended up buying the boxing gym so that I could make sure it stayed there for me, because I realized really quickly, if I don't have this, I'm dead.
Yeah. Right?
There's no doubt about it. In an effort to keep that boxing gym open, I had to figure it out, right? Yep. While I'm figuring out all this other shit, I'm deciding I'm going to open this boxing gym, right? Best decision I've ever made, right? It kept me busy, kept my mind going, all those things. But I had to figure out how to keep the business open. So one of the things we did was we started a youth team. And at first it was just kind of playing around with mitts and stuff like that. But then I started getting kids that wanted to compete, right? Yeah. Like, hey, I want to compete. And I'm like, okay, well, let's try to figure that out. So I go through, I'm an IT guy, but I went through high flow coaching for neurotransmission. I got my boxing coaching certificate. I took all these classes and all this stuff. And one thing that I learned during this NLP and this neuroflow, all that stuff, is that it's a lot about self-identification.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to teach these goofy 8th graders to go from a goofy 8th grader that's got a touch of autism, getting bullied at school, and I got to bring this kid into a boxing ring in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people in shorts and a wife beater and fight somebody, and it's win or lose. It's battle. I don't care if they're 10 years old. It's battle. Yeah. They're going in there, they're battling. They got people booing them. They got people cheering for them. And that is a mindset that will just destroy a human. So I had to figure out how to do this. And one thing that I learned really quickly is that they had to identify as something. So I created a set of core values, and I get them to identify as gladiators.
Cus
Right,
did,
that's
Cus
what you
did this
are.
really well with Tyson.
Right, you're fighting for other people's entertainment. That's what you're doing. You're a gladiator, and we put that language into them, and transformations happened, man. Like, these kids really changed. It didn't change how they acted or anything. You could literally see it would change who they were as a human. Like, they're powerful. They're not scared. They're not timid.
They're beingness.
By how they're identifying themselves. And then, I guess about a couple years ago, I was driving home from Podfest, and I get disconnected from my body frequently. And I wasn't even drinking this day, and I'm driving through Georgia, and they got this beautiful thing called super speeder tickets in Georgia, and I get kind of lost in thought. Right, cruise control gets lost. My foot gets a little heavier. Next thing you know, I'm getting pulled over, doing like 96, something like that.
Yeah.
Cop obviously does not like me. He thinks I'm a fentanyl dealer, all these things. Decides to be a little rough with me. We end up, he finds my medical cannabis with my medical prescription, all this stuff. I still use cannabis for sleep because I prefer it over Xanax.
Yeah.
Hate Xanax, and I need to sleep. So he arrests me. I get 2 weeks waiting for the judge, sitting in Taylor County, Georgia. I end up convincing him at some point to let me out before the 2 weeks, and I stop, and I'm in relapse mode, right? I didn't go to jail for drinking, but I'm in relapse mode hard, and I stop at the gas station, and I buy 2 tall boys, and I start to drink one, and I'm like, this can't be who I am anymore. And at that moment, it all clicked. I'm like, well, I identify as a fucking alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, I have all the problems of an alcoholic.
Yep.
And I just really took all the shit that I've been teaching these kids and put it inward, and it absolutely, all the cravings, all the bullshit, all the misery, all that shit went away.
Yeah.
Right?
Really, what year was this?
I don't even know. It was 2001.
Okay.
Somewhere on there.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but then the struggle, I'm like on this journey now for 7 years. Miserable.
Yeah.
All the time miserable, fighting this thing, right? This invisible thing of addiction. I'm fighting it the whole time. And until I said, I'm not an addict, I'm a sober gladiator, right? And that's how I'm going to live my life. And what's that look like? And I fight for the things that are important. I fight for small business owners. I fight for my wife. I fight for my family. I fight for these things that I really find important. And my entire, how I felt about myself, everything changed immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is right up my alley. Like, 100%. You step into who you want to be and just start being that person. Thoughts, words, actions, environment that you keep have to all be aligned with that being that you want to be.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing the results.
But the whole world's telling you something different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're telling you to do something different.
Yep.
So, and that's, we need more people telling people that they can do it. And one of my favorite lines in the planet, or of being a human, is that although I cannot predict my next thought, I sure as hell can choose it.
Yeah.
Right? So I can choose what my next thought process is going to be. I can make the decision to have positive self-talk for the next 5 minutes. But if I just sit back and don't try to proactively think of anything, then my mind's going to wander and I can't predict shit.
Yeah. All right. I want to cover 2 things at the time we have left. We're up against the clock. What's the name of your book?
Reclaim Sobriety.
There it is. Let me see. Reclaim Sobriety. Okay. 12 rounds of sobriety. Yeah. So this book, when did it go out? When did it get launched?
November.
Okay.
November 19th.
Just relatively new, brand new, back in November. And then all of a sudden you hear from UK prisons that they're going to put this book in prisons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so that was the second thing that really shocked me, right? So first I hit #1 new released amongst teens and young adults with addiction, which hit me hard. I didn't realize that would resonate there. So I hit #1 new release in that category, which really set me off on a pretty high note. I'm like, okay, this is really something special. And then, somebody reached out to me from the counseling program in the UK, and they're like, hey, we'd like to, do a bulk purchase and put these in the prison libraries in the UK. We think it's that powerful, and it's a different message than what they're getting everywhere else, right? And really what I did was I took a lot of the lessons from AA, right? Just not the identification stuff. Smart recovery. I love recovery dharma. I love Buddhism. So there's Buddhism in there. Like all of these things, I took everything that I've learned over being a drug addict and an alcoholic I'm 49 years old. I've been drinking since I was 2. Right. So, my whole life, it's a lifetime of debauchery and drugs and alcohol. And I'm sober today. I have my medical cannabis for sleep. But other than that, I don't even have a craving. I can't tell you the last time I had a craving for alcohol.
Yeah. I love it. I was talking to my wife. We were watching a show on Netflix, and these people had a party, and they were all hungover the next day. And I'm like, and the one lady rolls over to her husband and says, "Don't say it." And he says it anyway. He goes, "Was it worth it?" Because she was like miserable. And I'm like, you know what? That's so true. Like, was it worth it? Now, I had some good time. I'm sure you did too. Like, had some blasts, right?
Yeah.
But it's always short lived, man. And you got to pay. You got to pay for it. Dad used to say, "You want to dance, you got to pay the piper." Right? You can't. So.
And you're gonna pay for it soon or later, right? The
Yeah.
damage that I've done to my body, the liver disease, the emphysema, all that shit is it's not gonna make the end of my life the best place to be.
Yeah. So then, what are you doing now? Talk to us about Inlink.
Inlink, I love. It is, so I've taken everything that I've learned over my life as an entrepreneur, business owner. I'm taking the same tools that I use to launch Reclaim Sobriety, same tools that I use at Box STL, the same tools that we use at Hosterian to gather leads and build clients and those things. So we partner with Go High Level for our CRM back office.
Yep.
We have over 62 snapshots that are free for our users to use, right? They can import them right in. We're talking, solar, HVAC, electrician, dog kennel, all of those snapshots. We're giving them away. You can download them. Those are the funnels. We're taking all the limits away from websites. Unlimited websites. Buy a domain name, you get another website. Need another funnel. Click the button, you got another funnel. All of those barriers are gone because I know that you've got to change a lot in business and you got to try a lot of different things. And you're not going to I know a couple people that knock it out of the park on the first swing. At least they tell me it was the first swing.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Yep.
But you're going to take a lot of swings. You try a lot of different things. So I wanted to remove all those barriers. So we partner with Go High Level. We have the 61 different industries that we wrote snapshots for over the years. We're giving those away. They're already written, right? They're just part of the program now for you. Install them. One that I'm really excited about is podcast hosts, right? We got a CRM for podcast hosts, 2 different funnels, one to get clients and one to get sponsors, right? The whole thing, the one that we use to grow Clicks and Bricks podcast to a #1 worldwide podcast. Took all of those things, and then we took the Office product that we have that we've been building with Open Exchange that is comparable to a Gmail, Google Drive, Google Sheets, like all those things. We have all of those things in Inlink. But the big caveat there is that privately held. We're a group of about 30 men and women. We're all here in the United States, and we don't have to answer to the stock market. So I can make the absolute statement, not a claim, that I will never sell your data. I won't do it. I will not give your data to any government unless they have a search warrant and a subpoena for me, right? I just won't do it. It's your data. I'm just the shepherd of that data, right? And I've been a shepherd for data for lots and lots of companies for a very, very long time. And some of the largest companies in the world trust me with their data. Yeah. And I want to take that trust and bring it to Main Street. I think the yoga studio deserves this at a low cost, right? I think the boxing gym needs to know how to have these tools and stuff like that. And we just did it and dropped the price, right? Because I know people are in transition all the time. They don't want to have a big capital expense. They can't have these huge operation expenses. So we created this Soho package, small office, home office, which is the whole thing. CRM, choose your funnel, unlimited websites, unlimited funnels, contract management, every bell and whistle under the thing. A couple things you might have to pay for. If you kick up AI employees, you have to pay for the transactions that they do. You have to pay for your phone numbers, right? A little bit extra for there. But it's $197 a month with 5 office accounts. And for the year 25 at inlink.com/Soho, it's $97 a month.
Yeah, you can't.
And I just took every bit of everything. I'm putting Yext in there, the premium subscription to Yext inside your CRM, because I believe that every single small business in America needs to have their directory listings done properly, deployed properly, so that they can be found on the maps, because that is the holy grail that you're gonna say, Alexa, where is the closest Thai restaurant to me? And that's got to be in your directory, right? Yeah. And they need those tools, and they're
what about AI directory? Like instead of SEO, like AIEO.
AI is a huge deal, right? You got to start. They figured out way quicker than the AI is faster than algorithms.
Yeah,
it's better at catching shady shit. So, we are in an era. I mean, we're in so many cool eras, man. This is living right now.
It's amazing.
Most people don't even realize how freaking cool it is to be living right now. We're in the digital art renaissance. We've democratized intelligence. Intelligence is like really good intelligence is $20 a month, or really free for those people. I mean, I've got a professor in my pocket. That's before you had to know what questions to ask the computer, know how to talk to it, but now it's just a companion, really, and you can set these AI employees up to go do stuff, and you have to be on the internet to have AI know about you.
Yeah.
What you put on your websites and what you put on your social media is what you're training the AI bots on you.
Yep.
So it's just what it is. And if you have inconsistent data across the internet, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? If you've got one phone number on Amazon directory and one number on Google directory and one different number on your Facebook profile, AI is going to get confused, and they're going to put somebody else in the front of the game. They're like, that person, that's 3 different things. It's not one thing. So they're not nearly as big as they are. So consistency on the internet, consistent messaging is going to be very, very important with AI and indexing.
Love it. Well, Ken, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people go deeper with you? Where do you want to send them?
KenCox.com is the easiest place to learn about me. And if you want the deal for 2025 for the $97 Soho offer, Inlink.com/Soho, SOHO.
Let's go. Okay. Ken, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your trust in us at That1 Agency to work with you to get your message out, man. It's a privilege and honor.
Thanks,
and
Mike.
I'm looking forward to going deeper with you for after this as well. So
absolutely.
All right, man. Thanks for being here, guys. Go check out Ken Cox. Thank you for being here. You can check us out on your favorite podcast platform, as well as the Motivation Success Network, which is like the Netflix for personal development and entrepreneurship. Go check that out. Shout out to Dennis and his team over there at Motivation Success. Until next time, be that one.